Hey everybody, welcome to the team call. If you're new to the team, welcome to the team. You made the best decision ever to be part of our team, part of our family. We are a 8-time elite top team in our network with some of the top industry producers on our team. So you are so lucky to be surrounded by so many incredible entrepreneurs. I don't have any slides or anything for today. There isn't going to be we're going to shout ourselves out for our own recognition. We're going to share some wins, but I don't have any slides or anything fancy for today. Really what I wanted to do, since we have so many calls happening in a week these days, and I've popped on a few and I've seen many of you attending many calls, is I really wanted to hold this space today for us to celebrate our wins, share what's working for us right now, and also troubleshoot or really just use this opportunity to talk about, what now sort of situation. Like I was talking to Kayla right before this call, and we were talking about, hey, when you're building a connection and chatting with someone and you're telling them what they're doing and they say, yeah, send me info, like, what do you do next? Like, what do you send? So we can talk about that, but all sorts of things like that. So let's kick this call off with sharing some wins. If you've got Success Club on the board, if you enrolled a new PC or coach, if you had a win in your challenge or with a client, or you want to shout out somebody on your team, let's do it now. Who wants to go first? You better be thinking about your wins.
I'll go. Oh, you can go, Callie. Go on. Okay.
You go.
So I have hit SC4 from just volume, which is super exciting. I really like the new incorporation with volume points adding to SC points because it just makes me feel like I'm actually running my business appropriately, and it's like setting a standard that counts for revenue, right? Like, so it makes it feel very much more doable, like in a sense that I can hit these numbers and goals. And it's given me the confidence to actually push harder in my business because of that. So I've had conversations with new people that I've never reached out to before. I have 2 carts out that are pending and 1 like interested party too, like, and I'm just getting a lot more momentum and traction just from the confidence buildup of knowing my business is actually working. Like I'm doing the things.
That is a kick butt win. Thanks for sharing that. If you're brand new to the team, to be in Success Club, it used to be that you had to sell 3 total solution packs. However, nowadays, you also get Success Club points on the volume. And to piggyback off what you're saying, I too am absolutely loving it. As a matter of fact, one of the conversations and one of my new enrollees the other day was somebody who has an MYX spike, and she reached out to me because her renewal was about to come up and she wanted bod and body. And of course I tiered. I always start at total solution pack, top tier, sharing about the program we're doing now to find out if there's any interest so she can be doing what I'm doing. And so it went from 220 for sure thing, TSP, to 199 for bod body, TSP, to 179 for just bod body. And I was able to present her all 3 ideas, right? All 3 options. Whereas in the past, I probably would not have presented the last idea, and that's the one she wanted. And had I not presented that to her, she could have easily decided to connect with another coach, stay in her lane with her coach, or just like figure it out, right? I also had another woman enroll with me to piggyback also on what you're saying, who enrolled with just bod and body. She didn't want any supplements or anything else. However, she watches my Instagram stories like a hawk. And yesterday I posted Shakeology and offered my link. And she private memoed me and said, I've never been a shake person before, but I'm really intrigued and I'm really curious. So maybe I'll become one. So again, like I got that first sale from her, and now I potentially am going to get more sales from her, and I didn't have to turn her off by, over pushing her out of her boundary line. So I love it too. It's awesome. Callie, let's hear it. Let me hear your win, sis.
I don't necessarily have an SC win per se, but still working on that. But I did realize I wrote down in my tracker how many people I've invited, and it's been like 75, which is a lot more than I've been doing. So I've been really consistent. So now I can go back and follow up with some people, and I've been having some good conversations. And I did have somebody who I was like, she's not going to say yes, but she wanted more info. So that was a great win too. Um, and what else? I'm down 7 pounds through the gut protocol. And just really feeling good without like the alcohol and stuff like that. And I got a wake up call from Amy in her comeback crew chat the other day. So I'm just kind of getting really intentional about setting up a plan and how I'm going to make this the best year ever for my business.
Oh my God, so many great wins. Now I'm super curious. What was the wake up call? What pivoted for you in that moment? What did she say? Or like what were you doing that you're like, oops, can't do that anymore?
Basically she was checking in on us and seeing like where we were at, and like how many people we had in the sugar detox group. And I was like, I was going to invite to that this week. I didn't get to it last week. And she's like, why are you not inviting to that? I'm like, well, I don't know like how to run a free group. She's like, literally, I'm running it for you. Like, just invite to it. And, you know, if you want this year to be different from last year, like you need to do things differently. So just kind of was like, you're right. It was kind of good to get that tough love for sure.
I love it. And thank you for sharing that. I'm sure everybody on this line can also be like, ooh, I feel that. Like if you want a different result, you got to do something different. What's the saying? If you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you always got. So kudos to you and kudos to your weight loss on the gut protocol. It's such a fantastic program. So many great wins in there. And then Rachel also wrote in the box that she has shed 3 pounds this week from Focus Nutrition, feeling very, very confident connecting right now with new people following me and also reaching back out to the old nose, remembering that maybe now is their perfect time. And I have 3 quality friends in the sugar detox that I feel really connected with and optimistic about. Those are great wins, Rachel. Congratulations to you guys. Who else wants to share a win from this week? Or anything that's working in your business right now? Not to cut you off, Jess, but also that, like, that's like anything, not just a win, but that's what we're talking about today is what's working for you right now as well. So take it away.
Well, I'm going to do something that I don't know if it's going to work or not. I've been, I don't know why, like really paying attention to Amy lately, Callie. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's like that leadership, like top down, she's shifting, you're shifting, and it's just this whole shift. And I couldn't get on her team call yesterday because she moved the time. But one of the things that I heard Jamie talking about was this like internship, this coaching internship. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where do I find this information? But basically, it's kind of like opening up an Instagram page separate from your current account and running like a 5-day like coach sneak peek, whatever. It's like running a sneak peek, but inviting people just to that. And you do a live for that like boot camp week. I'm still trying to like understand it. Jamie and I are currently in conversation and she gave me the information where to go to. I haven't had a chance to do it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like, what I'm doing is not working. I'm like, so why not try this? Like, do a coach internship. And whoever she got this from, got like 6 coaches agreed to do this with not Jamie, but whoever started this coach internship thing on Instagram. So I'm going to learn more, but I'm really excited, I think, to try it. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen, you know? And it's like, literally you can see like day 1, here's what you go live about. Day 2, here's what you go live about. Day 3, here's what you go, like, it's basically like everything else handed to you on a silver platter. You just have to do it. Like, and so I'm like, success leaves clues. Let me give this a shot and see how it goes. And if you keep it open, then you can just like add, rather than it being on Facebook, basically, I think it's Instagram and it's lives. So I don't know. I'm going to learn more about it and see what happens.
I love it. And then when you learn all the details, you can share it with us as well. And here's the thing, is, you know, we've been running sneak peeks for years, both like we've done them on Instagram before, we've done them on Facebook before. And, you know, everybody has a formula that's worked for them for their conversion. But one of the things I'll really emphasize when you get the list of the lives and what other people are doing that works for them, I would pause for a moment and ask yourself what would work for you. Because I really think one of the key things that makes this business work is when you listen to your inner genius. And so often, yes, it's a duplicatable system, right? Yes, it's very plug and play. Like, yes, we know the system, like Hit Success Club, Advance to Emerald, Advance your coaches to Emerald. Like, there's very simple things that are in place. But when it comes to your marketing and how you connect with your audience, it's somewhat individualized because it's all based on pulling in more use. So for me, for example, when I previously did a lot of sneak peeks, I really looked at a lot, like when I think of myself in the beginning of my business, right? Like I was a yoga teacher at the time. I had studied nutrition and health and led workshops on detox. So a lot of the messaging and the verbiage I would use in the conversations I would have also had to infuse that so I could really connect with the me that was on the other side of listening to me and understanding that this was really for her. It wasn't just, you know, enrolling as a coach and helping other people. It was enrolling as a coach and educating people on nutrition, like the things that they would really get juiced about. So, you know, keep that in mind, really think about who you are and how to connect to your audience and listen to your inner genius when you're presenting anything, even when given a duplicatable platform. Really infuse your story into it.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. And one more thing that I think as far as like wins go, I've had 2 women that I already are in my community, but that kind of like go quiet and then like reach back out. And I've been doing a lot of this, like, what is my niche? And Mary, we've talked and, you know, look in the mirror, right? But both women have reached out to me this week and talked about like being at rock bottom. And I'm reading this book, which I highly recommend if it is a personal thing for you. But it talks about like rock bottom is really the place that you can recognize that I can't feel like this anymore. And these moms are both already in my group, but talking to me about how they currently feel. And I'm like, that's exactly how I felt when I enrolled, right? And the thing that like dawned on me when I was journaling this morning was like, these are the whispers that I need to hear. Like, oh, this is like here's your niche. Let me hand it to you. But like, you have to be willing to be open to that. I don't know if this makes any sense. I think that it makes sense, but it was like, oh, this is the universe, or like, this is what you can provide people. But it took like 2 people reaching out, feeling the same, how I felt when I enrolled. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like that was a really big win, to be able to go, oh, okay. Anyway, it was like confirmation.
Yeah, that is an incredible win. And I remember a presentation I did at Summit a few years back with Amy, and we can find it. It's actually in it was in the Coach Online office, so I'm sure it's still there. But we did a presentation on storytelling and telling your story in snippets. And we broke it down to sharing things like how you felt before, right? The pain point, the catalyst, like, and obviously this is the catalyst for change. You got connected to either your coach, or you got connected to the fitness assets, or you got connected to community, or whatever it was, like however you want to verbalize that catalyst. And then the post, the journey that you're on now, like where it's taken you. And so that piece of your story, the pain point, is so incredibly important to reiterate over and over so many different ways, because there's so many stories that come out of that, right? And how many times have we hit rock bottom in different ways, where we kind of wake up and we're like, you know, there's the big rock bottom, and then there's a rock bottom in another way. So that's so important, and that's awesome to hear. And hopefully it also, and I know lately I've been watching you, and I know you have shared on the past few calls too, that you're really tapping into just being more you and being authentic and not feeling like you have to be like some of the women that you idolize, right? In this business or outside of this business. And I will say it is working for me. Like when I go to your stories, I feel way more connection to you. So always just remember to be you, you guys. Like there's only one of you. There's a lot of Tim Fitzpatrick's and Moira Casamas and, you know, people that, not that they're all their unique person too, but there's a lot of people trying to be like that. So just be you, because that's why people will be attracted to you. Barbara wrote in the box, she can't talk right now, but she said, but I have a one-on-one client coach prospect call tomorrow morning. Yay! So congratulations for you. That always feels amazing. And I do love me a one-on-one call. That's where I feel like I can really connect heart to heart to people. Cool. Emmy said that was the last book she read too, The Mountain in You. And she said some of it was like it was being written for me. Good book. Anybody else want to share some wins of the week or what's working for them right now? Yeah, Emily, let's hear it.
If my camera goes funky, I'm going to have to turn it off. Something happened to it. I don't know. I've decided I kind of went very different with my business than I ever have before. I always really focus on inviting to a challenge group, inviting to a new program, and I'm always really focusing on the PC. And I really, really need to build my business. So I haven't been inviting much, but what I've been focusing on is connecting with new people and inviting to the coach opportunity. I have my friend in France who showed up to our call. I'm having a call with her tomorrow. She said it was really inspiring and she wants more information. I've got a couple of other people that are interested in coaching. Also, one of my clients who originally signed up as a coach 2 years ago decided not to do it, is really looking at doing it right now. So that's really great. So I've got 4 potentials for coaching by the end of the month, which is really good. And I also did something I've never done before. It was a brand new connection, and I couldn't not invite her. And for the very first time, I'd spoken to her for less than 24 hours. I actually sent a voice message invite to coaching. She said not at this time, but it wasn't a no. And we are still connected. So I'm just trying to tell myself not to hold back and go for it, because who am I to make the decision for another woman that this isn't right for her? And I'm just, pardon my language, but right now I'm just kind of not giving a fuck and just like inviting people, because who knows, I could have the next Kim Fitzpatrick or Moira Kusava on my hands, right? So I'm really focusing just right now on the business opportunity more so than anything. So I know that takes away from inviting to challenge groups, but I've really got to focus on my business now. And my plan is to be diamond by February 14th. So I've got to make that happen.
I love it. Congratulations. And that's really, I'm so glad you shared that. It's such a big needle mover in your business. When I think about the launch of my business back in the heyday, back in 2013 is when I launched my business. When I really started to build beyond, like I hit diamond, I had a setback with my back, I was in surgery and whatnot. And actually it prevented me from really taking part in anything. I couldn't physically do, I literally couldn't physically do anything. So I wasn't feeling super inspired about the challenge group setting. So what I started to do was get very intentional about inviting to coaching. And so I really worked from a list with pure intentionality of, you know, whether it was someone I knew really well, whether it was an acquaintance, I really looked at like my niche market and who I would love to work with and run groups with and co-coach with. And that's what I did. I invited them to the business opportunity. And it was simply like reaching out and saying, hey, I don't know if you've seen what I've been doing lately, but we're running these incredible boot camps. They're constantly filling up. We always need more coaches. I thought of you because, insert why you intentionally thought of that person. You know, you always inspire me. You're such a great leader. I've always looked up to you for health and wellness advice or whatever it is, your leadership. Would you be interested in potentially coaching with us, or can I send you some information on this? Right. So that's where I started. And what happened is some people were like, yeah, send me info. I'm interested, right? Like I would even say, you know, there's an opportunity for you to earn income while getting great resources to continue to work on yourself and provide your clients with incredible service, right? So yes, people are interested in income opportunities, you know, like everybody wants to make more money. But number two, for individuals who were not or were skeptical because, hey, it's just totally new to them and I'm coming out of nowhere, right? For those individuals, I would just encourage them when there was pushback, or if they were like, I'm not sure if it's for me, I've never done a body program before. I always said, why don't you just get started and at the time I was really doing 21 Day Fix back then when it launched. Why don't you just get started with us, do the 21-day program with us, see if it's a good fit. And if it's not, there's a 30-day money back guarantee and you can totally send it back. But I'll have you set up as a coach, so you're already enrolled. And that way, if you want to start earning income right away, you literally can start earning income the day you enroll. So, it was like almost like when you're presenting top tier of a challenge pack, 220, 199, 179, it was the same thing. It's like I'm presenting coaching, but if there's not, then, I can get you started as a coach, a PC, or a customer with that intention to, potentially lean on the 30-day money back guarantee. But that is when my business built the most. So that's why I'm sharing that. And I'm really echoing what Emmy said. Like, if you want to build this business beyond commissions, you have got to build a team. And the only way you're going to build a team is if you're actually intentionally talking to people about the business opportunity and about coaching. So I'm really proud of you for stepping into that and for ripping the Band-Aid off and just doing things differently. And that's really how you figure out what's going to work for you too, right? Like, you just do things differently. You're like, give it a shot. I know the saying, like, throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. It's not everybody's favorite, because it's like, why just throw shit at the wall? But when you're new to something, it's also like, hey, this is kind of uncomfortable, but maybe I should try it this way and see what it feels like. Because who knows, right? And who knows until you try it a different way if it's going to feel like an aligned fit for you or not. Kudos to you. Okay. I think that's pretty much everyone on the line that has shared. So since it's just a tight combo today, and I don't have presented topics for you, I really wanted this to be an opportunity for you guys to lead the way, to ask questions and to get answers and that sort of thing. I'm just going to talk a little bit about, and we can talk about this together if you want, but Kayla had asked right before the call, and now that she's building up a lot more connections in her Instagram, and there's been a lot more interest. People are saying like, oh, cool. So, like, tell me more about your program, right? And so she ends up sending them a little DM with some kind of a brief overview of what they're going to be experiencing. And then they say, great, send me more info. And then she's kind of like, what do I send now? What do I send now? And I think this is a really great conversation to have, because everybody does something a little bit different. And also, if you're listening to this replay and you're new to the team, you might be feeling that way too. So let's talk about that as a group. And I will also offer my 2 cents as well, but I would love to hear from you guys what that looks like in your dialogue. If you're having a private conversation and somebody says, yeah, that sounds interesting, send me more info, what are you providing them? Or where do you take that conversation?
Email. I always ask for email so I can build my email list. And then I have an email that I've put together from Steph Courtney gave us. I put them like 1 in 1. And one of them actually says, if you're coachable, if you have dreams, like I've listed that and say, if you've chosen at least 2 of these, then keep reading. And I send them the link to that page that you built for us, that coach info page, because I tweaked it to me. And I send them that. And at the very bottom, I always say, I will follow up with you. And I give them 2 days, unless they give me another date. And then this month, because we had the call, on top of all of that, I said, hey, not sure if you've had time to read the email, but we are having a live call. And if they didn't make the live call, I just sent them the recording. It was nice and short. It was 10 minutes. So people didn't have to give a lot of time to sit down and watch a video. So yeah, I just send out an email, really.
And how does that work out for you?
Right now it's working out a lot better, and I think it's because I'm approaching coaching very differently. I'm approaching it with a different attitude. As you know, I'm actually coming up on a year of being alcohol free. So it's really changed just my mindset and how I look at everything. I think I have more confidence in myself in the business. So how I'm talking to people, I feel it's the same wording. I think it's just how I'm approaching it. I think just overall, I'm very different, and people can see that. And on top of that, I think I've kind of thrown fear out of the window. Like most people, I don't like inviting, but at the end of the day, what am I afraid of? Why am I afraid of what someone's going to say? At the end of the day, they're just saying no to themselves, not to me. I can move on, but those people just end up following me and watching my stories anyways. So I think it's just not worrying about that no anymore, and just really approaching it in a different way. You really have to believe in the business, and as much as I always did, I believe in it in a completely different way than I have before. And in 2 days I had 4 yeses, where before in a month out of 4 invites I wouldn't get 1. So it's really just such a huge difference. All of my material is the same, it's just me
Yeah,
that had to change.
totally. Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. It's so true. People can read our energy and our level of belief. Yeah, Jess, let's hear it.
I just want to follow up, Emmy, with one thing that I heard. I don't know if this will help you or not. I don't even know if you need the help, but one of the things that I heard when I was in that space of like, I don't know, like inviting, I'm so nervous, like all that. It was a very, very successful coach. He said, stop making the inviting about you. And for me, that's been a big lesson just overall. I make everything about me. And rather than, I mean, I do, let's be honest. I'm working very hard. I'm working very hard. But that's what I try to do when I invite now, is operate from a space of what do you need from me? Like inviting you from that space of how can I help what your problem is? Do I have the solution? And making it about that person versus like, I'm so nervous. What if they say no? They keep watching, but then they're not responding. Like I've kind of like shut that noise down, and it's so much easier to invite. So much easier.
I agree. I've had more authentic conversations with people. Like my friend who showed up to the call on Wednesday, literally inviting happened within 10 minutes because she was talking about her job, how many hours she worked, and she just didn't seem overly fulfilled. And when she asked me what I did, I said I'm a transformation coach, wanted information, and wanted on the call. It happened fast, but it was so authentic. I'm not pushing conversations anymore, but I'm really listening to people. And when they apologize, I have people all the time, they're like, I'm so sorry. I just don't have the time. Good luck with it. And I always let them know, please don't apologize to me. It's not about me. This is to you. This is all for you. And I'll keep you posted on future things. I always let them know it's for them and not for me. Sorry, I'm in a chatty mood today. I think my matcha gave me a lot of energy.
I totally get it. I appreciate it. And some other, if you guys have other things that you want to share too, I love to hear it. What I've offered the team so many tools, so I feel like you all know what I do. And like scripts, and it's not that I want you to use a script, but basically if you've ever been on the receiving end of my email, like those of you that are personally sponsored by me, you've seen my emails. It's like you can just replicate my email. But essentially what I do when we get to a point, Kayla, that somebody says, hey, send me more information, the first thing I'm going to look at is what is it that I'm marketing and what that I'm talking about. So for those of you that just hopped on the line, we're talking about like what to do if somebody is interested and says, send me more info, and you're like, what do I send? The first thing I'm going to do is find out like what is their interest. I have to first consider what my call to action was, or what the dialogue was in our box. Were we talking about coaching? Were we talking about their nutrition? Were we talking about their fitness? So based on that is going to be how I gear whatever I'm going to send next. Or if they're replying to a call to action or a private conversation, and let's say I've said something like, have you ever considered doing what I do, which would be for coaching? And they're like, I don't really know what exactly you do. I would literally say like, why don't I just send you a little bit more information? Do you have 10 minutes to watch a super short presentation where you can learn all about it? And if they're like, yeah, I can do that, then I ask for their email. So just like Emmy said, because you want to get someone's email so that you can grow your email list. Once I go to email, I'm typing a super short email and I'm inserting that said 10-minute video. I've prepared other things that you guys can use. They're pinned in the top of the Soul Family page, the Team Soul Warriors page. So one of those would be like, there's a document that has maybe 10 different stories on it. Some of the girls that have been working with me all submitted their transformation photos and a little snippet of their story. And it has sort of our, the breakdown of how you earn income with us on there. So sometimes I link in that. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about some of the women on the team, click here. I've also created a website for you guys. It's on Canva. That's plug and play. You do need to take the time to obviously edit it. So I shouldn't say it's completely plug and play, right? It's like you have to make it for you. I just noticed my Canva bill came through. I pay $12 for Canva Pro. I want to say $12 a month. So it's not a big investment, but it allows me to go in and do those things. So that is another tool that I could send somebody, and that was specifically for coaching. And just like Emmy said, there's going to be a follow-up at that point. So the way I do my follow-ups is if somebody, I send them information and I haven't heard anything from them, I literally go to the last email I sent and I forward it. And I simply write, hey, I just wanted to bump this back up in your inbox. I know how important XYZ is to you. So whatever our conversation was, I know how important, or I know how excited you were about potentially diversifying your household income or stepping into coaching. I want to make sure that you saw this. I know how easily these things get brushed off in my inbox as well, or how easily they get pushed down. So I send it there. One of the other things I do is many of you have an intake form on your Instagram, right? Where it's like, if someone's interested, they can fill out a job form or a type form, Google Doc, some sort of inquiry form where they can come to you. I ask for their Instagram handle on the inquiry form because a lot of people come in from my Instagram. So that allows me to go and also contact them via Instagram. And I can even look at them. A lot of times I'll look at them and be like, I don't think that's my person, you know, and it actually helps me decide like, how much do I want to pursue that follow-up? Whereas if I find someone that I'm like, that's really my person, like Cynthia's a great example. She gave me her Instagram and I went over to her Instagram and she does yoga and health and wellness. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like my soul sister. Like, of course, like this is someone I really want to have on the team. My follow-up process is going to be a little bit more aggressive, or just kind of like, I'm going to bounce around. I might follow up with her on email, and then I'm going to find her on Instagram and like, and comment on a post and be like, hey, just want to make sure you got my message, you know? So I can continue that dialogue with her. If it were for a challenge, for example, and somebody was responding to an Instagram or connection we had in the box and they were interested in more info in a challenge, I would then, again, get their email, go to my email and send them. I have like a couple websites I've made on Canva that are duplicatable that I send them. And before that, I used to create PDFs in Canva that I would put up on a Google Drive and hyperlink it in. So I'm the type of person that likes to, and this is where it's like, listen to your inner genius. I'm the type of person who likes to have information. I'm an information monger. Like before I respond to an email, when people write me emails, I'm going to look at who they are. Like if they give me a website, I'm going to look at that website. Right? So I like to give people clickable links that reinforce what it is I do, so that when I follow up, they can see, because I'm going to assume that they're like me. Whereas if that's not you, then maybe a clickable link isn't what you need. Maybe all you need to do is say, you know, hey, this is the program that I'm doing right now. I'm really excited about it. I love it. We have a start date happening on. Deadlines are really important, you guys. We have a start date happening on whatever your start date is. Our prep starts on X day. I'm only taking 10 people or 5 people. I have 3 spots open. Would you like one of these last 3 spots? And you can even put a little image card on that email that shows what like a challenge pack or a total solution pack is, or what they would get. And those are in our Coach Online office. So one of the things I think that's really important when you're sending information out is to have that sign up day and deadline. I think what happens very often is so many people are sending information out and there isn't a hard sign up date. So people don't understand that there's a sense of urgency, right? And I'm the first person to admit that I fall susceptible to that too. Because if I don't have a hard start date on the book, I'm sending information, I'm following up. But when you set that hard date, and you say, you know, we are starting February 1st. Enrollments need to be in by, there are X amount of spots left. Would you like one of these spots? Then, should they not respond, you can forward the email and say, hey, I just wanted to get back in touch with you, see if you've looked through the material. I only have 2 spots left. I wanted to give you last refusal before I take anybody else off my wait list. So again, there's a sense of urgency that creates more demand for a response. So that's how I handle the long and the short of how I handle what I'm going to send when somebody says, send me more info. Kayla, do you want to share a little bit about what's been working for you?
I can, but you'll hear the dog in the background. Because you know, office life. German Shepherds, if you know, they're not quiet. But so what I've been doing is just having genuine conversations, really coming from that place of like caring and wanting to give them the best option that fits them, more so than this is my challenge, this is what I'm doing, this is all I'm promoting right now. I kind of, yes, I'm promoting what I'm doing, but I'm also looking for the best fit for my client and what's going to really work for them, because I want them to continue it for a long term, not just, oh, I tried that, it wasn't my thing, and then they quit. So I kind of try and get more information, talk to them, find out what their needs are, what they like to do. And then if it's for a challenge group, I'll get that kind of information. I send them a general voice memo of like, this is the gist of what you're going to get. Let me see your email and I'll send you the registration. Let's talk about if you have any questions on a one-on-one in such and such time. And then we'll finalize after that if they want to make any changes. If it's for coaching, I love that body video that came out. It's actually really good. I've sent that to 2 people now, and I actually have 1 follow-up to do today. And then I have 1 more to do on Friday for one-on-one calls regarding coaching. And we'll see what they say after that for those.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that. That body video is great. And so, you know, there's so many options. Body made that incredible. It's like 10-minute video. It lays out what coaching is, how we earn, the supplements. If you like the video, I highly recommend sharing it. I know for Amy, what she's doing with everybody who she sends even information on anything, any products, any total solution packs, Amy's linking that video into the bottom of the email for everyone and literally says, hey, you know, just so you know, you can become a coach and earn, I forget what I have it, I think posted in the page somewhere, but you can sign people, or you can sign up as a coach and get 25% savings on anything. Check out this video and learn a little bit more about it. So it's great because if somebody's going to sign up with a total solution pack, or they're going to sign up and get product, like, wouldn't it be better to get it at a discount and also be set up to get like earn money? Not just a PC, but like be set up to make money in case a friend wants to order Shakeology. I mean, that to me is a no-brainer. So Emmy asked, would you send the body video instead of the coach info recording, or both? I would not send both because it's repetitive. They're both essentially the same thing. I would say probably send the body video, but at the end of the day, I think you need to ask yourself, what would your customer, like knowing your customer, knowing the person you have had a conversation with, what would be most appealing to them? While I really like the body video I made, the production value is low. I have my AirPods in, the sound is not 100%, you know, it's like, it is what it is. It works for me because I'm presenting it. So for me, I'm very comfortable sending it to somebody. But I think at this point in my business, I would send me because I'm comfortable with that. And I've told people I have a recording I just did, but early on in my business, I probably would have sent the body video because it's very comprehensive and it's not just like highlighting one person, right? So I think you just need to really ask yourself, like, what would you respond to, or what would your potential client respond to? Okay, does anybody else want to share today? or have any questions that we can troubleshoot? Or are you guys feeling pretty good today? I know there's so many calls that you guys are getting on in a week.
Hey, Mayor. Sorry.
Hi, honey. I wasn't sure. I wasn't going to call you out because your camera was off.
I was getting my bike ride in, but I'll share because something's working for me.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Give us the juice.
Okay, so you guys, if you can figure out how to make a reel that's very clear to your ideal person, so like you before you start Beachbody, on like the one main thing or just one of the things that it helped you with. Like for me, I wanted to be home, raise my kids, and like earn money at home. So if you can like figure out a way to make it really, 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 it has to be really clear though. And you can use photos, videos. And then if it does well, you're like, I like this, it's doing well, people are commenting, people are engaging, boost it for like $5. Don't run an ad, just boost it and choose, send me a message, like do the message. People are DMing me. Like 6 people are DMing me from that reel. And and I've tried ads and things like that and whatever. And like, obviously talk about it in your stories, things like that, but it works. And so I was like, okay, cool. People are like way more likely to send a message. Awesome. They don't want to fill out a link. Get it. Totally fine. I totally messaged Meredith. So then I was like, okay, I was going to do my post today about my coaching story, and I did. And it allowed me to click send message button. I didn't boost the post today. It's just a photo post. So you can add send message as like a call to action to your post without spending any money, without boosting a post, which is awesome. So maybe try that out, see if that works.
Is that a new feature? I haven't seen that yet.
It's like some of our family photos, like the little photo session we took. I just did like 4 and just did like because people like to look at like really cute family photos. And I just told my story about how like my self-limiting beliefs, where I was when I started, how I didn't think I had any time, how I wanted to still chase my dreams, but I felt like I had to be, a stay-at-home mom to be like the best mom or something. And I was just like, I had no hobbies and except watching Netflix. And then I had no job except doing the laundry. And I was really frustrated, but then I was like, oh, other people are doing it, I can do it too. And so then I did it. So it's like a really clear message, hits the pain points. And I don't know, that one's going to do well. Like people are liking it. Those always do well likewise. But the call to action, people are sending me messages. They're asking. And it's simply because I'm posting about the business more and I'm being very, very, very clear. Very clear call to action with each coaching post. But anyways, I just wanted to share, I boosted that reel for like, I spent $30. I think I've only spent 20 of the dollars because it does it as it goes. But do $5 a day and boost something. But if you don't want to spend any money, you don't have to. Just if it lets you select, send me a message and it's call to action post, try it. Because people will message you, especially if you're clear of like, oh my God, this sure thing cycle workout, like really hard. Especially if you're very clear about like how you're going to help them. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited. Oh, and then the other thing that I learned this week on a guided power hour. Well, I was already thinking about it and I was going to ask Amy and then I was going to ask Meredith. Well, I was texting with Amy about something. So I was going to ask Amy, like I've been having at the bottom, shut up, Ben. I've been having at the bottom of my email, like email me back to set up a call or something to talk about, when we send them a coach info. And sometimes people do that, but sometimes it's a complete waste of time. And I've been nervous to like build a share cart. So anyways, I was thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if that like works. I remember one time Sydney told me to do that and I did it a couple times, just a couple, and it didn't work. And I was like, oh, that doesn't work because I only did it like twice. And this one girl that was doing the guided power hour says for her conversion rates, it really helps her. She's like, I just send them a cart link. Like we've talked about it and I want them to know and see what they get. Da, da, da. I'm like, that's a bit forward. Oh, should I do that? I don't know. So anyways, I was going to bed last night. I'd emailed this girl from that reel who messaged me, like, send me more info. I sent her the email. It has the body coach video in it, bullet points of like highlights of what you get when you coach. Does that sound great for you? Kind of thing. And then like set up a call with me because I was like, I want to get to talk to people, right? See if I even like them. Anyways, I was trying to go to bed last night and I was thinking, damn, I really should have built that girl a share cart. Like I should do that. I should do that in the morning. I wake up 5 a.m. She's already emailed me to say, I don't want to waste your time on a call. How much is it to get started? I'm like, shit, why didn't I think of that? Wait a second. I did think of that. I just didn't do it. So anyways, make sure that we're telling people how fucking cheap it is to get started. $140, $200. It's like nothing to launch their business. Then we can help them earn $900 in like the first, whatever, 6 weeks. If they follow that, breakdown. So anyways, I thought that was really interesting. So anyways, I built her a cart this morning. Maybe she signed up. I haven't checked my back office yet. I'm gonna check in with her after this, but I think that there's something to be said for being just super clear and just telling people how it is, not being scared to tell them how much it's going to cost them. Because if someone DMs you about starting a business, or someone is thinking about starting a business, because I remember I was too, I wanted to know how much it was going to cost me to get started. And it's not that much to get started with Beachbody, and they can turn it around and make up that money in quickly if they take action. So anyways, that's all I wanted to share.
Thanks for sharing that. That was awesome. I did
Not the cycling character. I do not know how Jennifer Jacobs does it.
I did Megan Davies power sprints this morning on the cycle, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
I'm doing her power intervals. She looks gorgeous. I don't know if she's sweating. It's her
Yeah,
natural
she just talks. She's like rich. She's like talking.
so good.
I'm impressed that you're talking.
I love the endurance weeks. The power weeks were much more challenging, but still really good. Like this is the first program I'm going to complete start to finish without really complaining about it in a while. It's job one.
I love it. Thanks, Megan. Yeah. So one of the things I mentioned earlier in this call, and this is really what you were saying too about the clarity in your post, is about that the presentation me and Amy did at Summit years ago. Ben actually recorded us, and we talked about storytelling in snippets, and it's all about pain point, catalyst, where you are now. And let me emphasize where you are now, really break that down really quick. Pain point being like, hey, Ben, thanks for recording us. Ben's always a star. Pain point being, of course, like that rock bottom moment, like Jess was talking about earlier. Like the pain point is that rock bottom moment, and it's being really vulnerable in it. Like, what did that feel like? What would you like do behind closed doors that you would never freaking tell anybody? If you're willing to share that, that's where the real connective tissue is. So it goes from pain point to catalyst. And so like a catalyst could be, how did Body, your coach, how did this come in? Body's always going to be the catalyst, right? It might be like, I had been watching this girl on Instagram, and I really resonated with her vibe, and I just, she was talking about what she was doing for a living. Or maybe it was, I had been following someone, or my friend introduced me to blah, 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 right? Like my friend invited me to a boot camp. I didn't think I'd be interested in it. I was just not in my head and my body. And I begrudgingly said, okay, to which then I started a 20-day challenge with her. To then what would be the now. And the now doesn't have to be like, I lost X amount of pounds, or I made this much money. It's where you are today opposed to the pain point. I did that 21-day challenge, and I can't even begin to tell you how much I feel like I'm starting to see me again, how much my life is coming back, how much I'm, how much happier I am, how much when I look in the mirror, what I feel about myself. Like, it doesn't have to be that you've achieved all these things. It's the story of progress along the way. And when you can always be sharing little snippets like that, and maybe body's not always the catalyst, because it might be different things you're talking about when you're sharing your story. But when you're sharing that call to action, like Megan was talking about, it's likely, this is the catalyst that took you to that next level of hope and inspiration and excitement. Like, I'm getting on calls with the community, and it's wonderful. And I'm collaborating with like-minded individuals, and I've never felt so supported or have been given resources and tools to launch and scale a business. Like, this is, like whatever it is that matters to you. So definitely use that sort of 3-step storytelling process. Jess asked, Megan, you might know the answer to this. Can you go back and boost a post?
You can reboost posts, and you can boost pretty much any picture post. Reels, it's a little bit more sensitive. So if you get lucky and you see that they're going to let you boost a reel and it's about the business, I would say boost it. Not all, I think it has to do with the audio. as instead of like the content, like as for an ad, because some of the audio isn't licensed to be boosted, I think is what is happening. So just keep your eye out and just see if, you know, it allows you to boost something and you want to spend $30 and boost it and see what happens, go for it. But yeah, I mean, you can do this without spending any money, obviously. But in my experience, like if you have an instinct for something, you better take action on it. And I just had that instinct that day. And I was like, I don't know. And I was told then, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like doing something until something works. And then I make it a system. And it served me well. So yeah, I would just say, just keep your eye out. And like, you could use an audio, you can use templates that somebody else did. So like if you're doing reels, you see some girls in a really cool like template where it's quick or whatever, and you feel like you could tell your story, you're gonna have to wait a while for the photos and videos to upload from like your cloud, but you can make really cool reels easily. You don't have to make up the template yourself. You can use the template in the song somebody else did and make your own, tell your own story. But yeah, you can boost and I think reboost posts, and it's different just doing it on Instagram. It's not anything on Facebook. It's not through Facebook Ads Manager. It's just via Instagram. And if nothing else, it'll push you out to some people that may or may not have seen you otherwise, and you can grow your following that way too, to connect with people that are into what you're into and share your same struggles. And, you know, and I learned that from Josh Coates. Like he likes to go in and boost, spend $3 here, $5 there, and boost posts that are connect with his ideal person. And then they come follow him and he converts them mostly via his email list. But there's all different ways to do it. And you just have to try and see what works for you. Yeah.
Thanks for that. And also,
yeah, not all reels you can boost, but if they do well and they go viral, like you never know which ones are going to go viral too.
do that.
It's crazy. Like when they do, you're like, this is weird. That one went viral, not the other one. Crazy, but it's good.
Yeah,
You see what
yeah,
people
the ish people look at, right? You're like, why did you like that? That has nothing to do with anything that I ever thought you'd be interested in.
know. Well, I had a fitness one go viral finally because I had it clicked. I'm like, pair a cute outfit and my dancing moves with something fitness related, and it worked really well. But then I did it again for being sore, and it didn't work as well, but it also hasn't been up for as long. So one where I'm dancing in the gray hat, it's like going way viral. Tons of fitness people are sharing it. So busy moms that follow their fitness accounts, I'm getting a lot of new followers. I like went up till I'm like over 14.5 or something in like less than a week, because I mean, you never know what's going to do well. So just create content, try not to overthink it, show up, take action, share your story. But I think clarity, from what I heard from Julie Voris and what I see is working for myself and what I see, it's almost like we have to be so intensely clear with everything that we put out there, because there's so much stuff out there. People are consuming it in all different ways, and you know, they have decision fatigue. So we just have to say, like, message me to have a conversation, reach out to me. Maybe they don't want to fill out a link. People that are going to fill out the link tree just do it anyways. But the people that are ready to take action right now, I feel like they'll send you a message. They'll respond to your invite faster. You know, they're already thinking about it. If Meredith had known I was watching her, she would have invited me way longer than it took me to reach out to her. And she did such a beautiful job sharing everything about coaching and what she was doing, and like this whole just cool online, you know, wellness vibe that I was like, what is that? I cannot look away, but I cannot bring myself to like anything because I'm so miserable.
But
And,
also I was new. I'd only been coaching like a couple of years. So it's not like, so I hear you when you say that, I just want everyone here to know it's not like she's seeing me today. She's seeing me as like a new coach, just
Meredith
sharing
would
like
probably
what
be
I'm
like,
loving.
Yeah, you'd probably be embarrassed of like the pictures and the posts that you were talking about, but it doesn't matter because I wasn't judging her for her. She was way 1,000 steps ahead of me. That's all I cared about, is that she had found something that was working for her and it sounded really attractive to me. And I was like, sign me up, finally. But yeah, I think we have to be clear. I love that we're talking about this. I'm so glad I got on. I'm sorry I was late.
No worries.
Cars in the shop. It's been a day.
Have fun and all the rain. So to piggyback, because we're going to close up here in 2 minutes, to piggyback on what you were saying, I do think it's really important if if you are going to be promoting a post, or if you have themed content for the week, like if you know, like this week I'm talking about, I'm going to have CTAs, calls to action all week on signing up for my boot camp, or I'm going to have calls to action all week for coaching. I'm really going to talk about coaching. Make sure you're actually using the content that you can pin to the top of your Instagram page. So you're always able to pin 3 things up. So anytime I'm talking about like coaching, I'm going to pin up 3 posts that really talk deeper about coaching in my journey and have calls to action on them, maybe talking about what day my coach training starts on. If it's a call to action that week, all about the, like if that's what my stories are doing, or a post I'm boosting is about the challenge group, then every day I'm going to make sure I have 3 pinned up that are about the challenge I'm doing, that shows the nutrition I'm following, the fitness I'm following, a call to action date when we're starting. And then my stories, especially if we're talking about doing boosts, my stories are going to reinforce that. Because what happens when some stranger gets a post that I boosted, or a reel that I boosted? If they're interested, they might not send me a message right away. They're probably going to go to my page first, look at who I am, and then decide if they're going to send me a message. So I don't want them to have to figure out from whatever they were very clear on that it is my call to action. Like, I need to have anything in my stories in my top 3 on my profile, right? My page, that needs to reinforce what that was that I was being so clear on my call to action for. So just make sure, like, when you're using your Instagram, you're being like, and that takes next to no effort. It just takes a little bit of planning to go like, I know what I'm talking about right now. I know what I'm boosting, or I know what I'm doing stories on. Let's make sure the things on my feed at the top of the feed are going to also like reimburse everything else that I'm saying. It'll really help you stand out, and people aren't going to have to dig around and figure out like, so what is it that you do? Which I think is sometimes ends up being the question if you have a lot of variety on your page. All right, you guys, all that said, we're right on the hour, so I'm gonna close this up and export this for recording. Thank you so much for your time and for getting on the line with us. There is a Slay Squad call tonight. Our upline, Barbie Kalev, is leading it. It's on where to go next from the vision board, really putting your vision into action. Barbie is absolutely phenomenal. I think she's been coaching now for probably like close to 15 years. So generationally, so you know, my sponsor is Amy Mashburn. Her sponsor, Liz, does not really work her business, actually doesn't work her business at all, but she's still enrolled. Liz's sponsor is Barbie Kalev. So you've got a few generations there. Barbie used to be Barbie Decker. It's actually a made-up name. If you've ever heard her story before, she was a professor and she didn't want people knowing what she was doing. This is back in the heyday when Beachbody was very new. She ended up marrying Sagi Kalev. If you've been doing a lot of our heavy lifting program, you will know him as the Beast in the program Body Beast, or you may know Hammer and Chisel. That is Sagi, that is her husband. And she has just been pivotal in my personal growth in this business. As I grew my business quickly in the beginning, she really saw what I was doing, and she really welcomed me into open arms with additional mentorships. And I was able to work with her and do like coach sneak peeks and learn a lot from her. She's absolutely phenomenal. She's totally unique. I can't say enough great things about her. So if you want to get on that call, it's at 5 p.m. PST tonight. It's the Slay Squad call, and the information's on the team page. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay dry if you're in San Diego, and I will see you guys on our call next week. Bye.